Let's try to examine this demo a little more in detail. I'm going to isolate the guitar here, and I'm going to show you a variety of things inside of the DAW here, what's actually going on. If you look down here, for example, you're going to see a lot of pitch bender information. I use it totally freely. That's sort of the way it comes in, and I don't like to play to the grid. I never quantize my stuff inside of the DAW either. It just becomes way more alive. You know, real music, a real orchestra, a real band is not dictated to a grid. And I cannot overemphasize how important it is not to work on the grid. You might have your drum groove on the grid, that's fine. But if you want to solo with soul and all that, just work off the grid. Let's listen here a little more in detail. And let me also show you the velocity information. For example, just here in the beginning, I'm like imagining, like how would I do it on a guitar? Yeah, I would sort of keep the rhythm going just by making a few like. You know, it's kind of like feeling it, and I think it's important when we work with virtual instruments to have an idea about how the real instrument works. Otherwise, it's hard to play licks and all that stuff. And I'm not really a guitar player. I know how to like noodle on it, but I'm not like the expert. But I've sort of scraped things over time from YouTube and some of my favorite like rock albums. So you start gathering some riffs you can combine between. But it's so much more fun when it's so elastic on the keys here. Also, if you look down here, you'll notice I have these sort of fast, strummy kind of things. Like that, it's almost like an error in playing. Like there's a little like, but that's what happens in reality. And that's why I say as well, once we get to the UDS editions of these libraries, which are gonna have fret noises and legato, I think it's gonna be a super realistic instrument. We are so close already. The fact you can do these kind of. In fact, when we talk about the pitch bender, I want to say like be graceful, but that's not really the point. You shouldn't be graceful. You should be gracious with it instead and really go all out. Notice down here, I've removed all the pitch bender information and just like see how stiff and digital it becomes, like soulless. It just doesn't have soul versus. You know, it's hard to describe. It's just the sauce and the humanity in the instrument. I think this is, in a way, how we connect more with the instruments when they're that elastic and the velocities are so responsive. You get 127 velocities rendered in real time when you play it here, and that's sort of a part of that elasticity, if you will. Hard to explain, but you feel it immediately on the keys, just like you do with like a real piano.